All right, today we've got something really special. We have gotten our hands on the official manual for one of the world's most famous mystical orders, the ancient mystical order Rosicrucian, or AMRC. Now, this isn't some conspiracy theory or guesswork. This is their actual internal rulebook. So what's really going on inside? Let's crack it open and find out.
I mean, really think about that for a second. Beyond all the rumors and the wild stories, what are the actual day-to-day rules? What do the secret rituals look like? And what's the ultimate goal of it all? This manual, well, it gives us a chance to finally understand what it really takes to not just join, but to actually be a part of a group like the Rosicrucians.
So we're going to use this manual as our guide. We're going to follow the exact same path and initiate wood, starting from the very first promises they're given, all the way to the final pursuit of what they call mastership. Think of this as your own personal tour through some of the world's most closely guarded knowledge.
Okay, so every journey has to start somewhere, right? And for a would-be Rosicrucian, that first step is all about understanding what the order is offering you. And let me tell you, this isn't just joining a club, it's a promise of a total transformation.
You know, the first thing that jumps out is just how practical all of this is. The manual doesn't just talk about vague spiritual stuff. It says membership will help you awaken powers you didn't know you had, improve your station in life, and straight up attain greater success. It even promises real advice on health and business. It's this really fascinating mix of the mystical and the, well, super practical.
And you can feel the tone right from the jump, set by the Order's first modern leader, H. Spencer Lewis. It sounds very formal, very grand, but he frames the whole thing as a glorious search. And that sign-off, in peace profound, you're going to see that again and again. It becomes this powerful mantra for the entire order.
Okay, so the promises, they sound pretty good, right? But what happens when you actually decide to join? Well, now we cross the threshold and take a look at the very first steps a new member, or a neophyte, has to take. Right away, you learn this isn't happening in some rented community hall. The first big ceremony, your first degree initiation, happens in a very specific, very hidden place. The manual calls it the Chamber of the Cross, a room that is set completely apart from the everyday world. And just listen to how the manual describes this room. I mean, wow. It's not supposed to be comfortable. It's called the abiding place of life and death, the tomb of silence and the place of terror. This makes it crystal clear. This isn't just a ceremony. It's an ordeal. It's designed to fundamentally shock you and reshape how you see the world right from the very beginning. And that level of secrecy, it extends to every single time a member just wants to enter the lodge. The manual lays out this strict four-step protocol you see right here. You approach the door. You whisper the right password for that day's degree. You might even have to submit to a private examination. And only then are you let in. No password, no entry. It's as simple and as serious as that.
So once you're in, you gotta live by the rules. And this is where we really get to see the structure and the discipline it takes to be a Rosicrucian. It covers everything, from their own special holidays to what you can and cannot say to outsiders.
The Rosicrucian calendar has its own unique set of holidays. You've got the New Year feast around the spring equinox, which is a big formal event. But the one that's really wild is the annual outdoor fete. Around the autumn equinox, members all get together and each one places a small stone to symbolically help build what the manual calls the Great Pyramid in America. How cool is that?
This slide is great because it shows the tightrope they walk between total secrecy and, you could say, public service. The inner workings, passwords, rituals, signs, those are absolutely off limits. But members are actually encouraged to share the big philosophical ideas, especially if it can help someone who's struggling, and bring them, as the manual says, health, happiness, and peace profound.
The manual is full of these incredibly specific rules, but this one really stands out. The order has these officers called columbes, which means doves, and they serve as symbols of conscience. The rule says they have to be appointed before they're 14 and serve until they're 16. And, get this, they have to remain an unmarried virgin for their entire term. It's a rule that really emphasizes purity and innocence right at the heart of their rituals.
So you follow the rules, you show up for the ceremonies, but what's the payoff? Well, it's access to the core teachings of the order, a really unique blend of mysticism, symbolism, and what they consider to be esoteric science. At the absolute heart of everything is their main symbol, the Rosy Cross. But, as the manual makes clear, this isn't just a logo, it's a formula for life. The cross,
That represents the hard stuff, the struggles, the burdens, the karma of just being alive on Earth. And the rose, blooming right there in the middle, that's your soul evolving, your consciousness unfolding because of those struggles, not in spite of them.
And even something as familiar as the sign of the cross is totally unique here. It's this very precise 6-step motion. You see the curves and the straight lines, where it starts and ends. It's completely different from the traditional Christian version. According to the manual, this specific sign is a deeply sacred act used when you're taking a solemn oath. And then the manual gets into what you can only really call a kind of mystical science. It's got these amazing old diagrams, and it claims that all atoms have their own distinct auras, or energy fields. And it argues that the basic laws of nature, why some chemicals attract and others repel, it's all explained by whether these atomic auras are in harmony or disharmony with each other.
Okay, so all of this, the rules, the rituals, the secret science, it's all building towards something. The last part of the manual spells out the ultimate endgame for every single member, the path to finally becoming a master.
But what's so fascinating is that the path to mastery is actually paved with profound humility. The code of conduct is crystal clear about this. Don't try to fix other people, work on yourself. Don't brag about what you know. In fact, it says you should never call yourself a master, but always, eternally, a student. The whole point is inner growth, not getting praise from others.
And here it is, the grand prize, the ultimate goal. The manual says that all this work, all this preparation, it's for one reason, to eventually be admitted through what they call a cosmic initiation into the symbolic Great White Brotherhood. This is described as this higher spiritual collective, the one place where achieving true mastership is finally guaranteed.
And the whole journey is really wrapped up in maybe the most famous esoteric saying of all time. When the student is ready, the master will appear. The message is so clear. It's not about going out and searching for a teacher. It's about preparing yourself. The final step isn't something you find. It's something that finds you once you've done the necessary work.
So, after this whole tour, after seeing the promises, the secret rituals, and the strict rules, the manual kind of turns that final question back on you. It lays out this whole system for transformation, but it all comes down to that one simple idea. Are you ready? Because according to the Rosicrucians, that's a question only the student can answer for themselves.